Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and I know we're seeing Bojack. Okay, before any of this, a couple things. One, there's going to be a couple deck lists. This is just it's going to be a kind of a story about these deck lists. So there's that. So it's not just Bojack. Don't click away already. Two, I tried out two of these decks on my live stream. So if you want to watch that, there will be a link in the description. It also should be pinned at the end of this video too. And I guess that's really it. Let's just get started. So I really wanted to try to get Aegis to work, and really the big combo, the 2-card combo in my hand was like, oh cool, got Violent Rush Bojack, we play him, and then we can Aegis to untap 2, and then oh cool, we can play 8 for 2. Oh, that's a good job, you figured it out. You untap 2 and you play something for 2, and that feels kind of good. So that was literally the deck idea. And for a lot of this, so of course I started with Bojack, and I think this is okay. I think also like this deck is pretty like cheap in a lot of ways. I think it's pretty cost effective. I don't, not including like the Sunshine Run maybe, but like this is probably kind of cheap deck. And no, why is it? Oh, because Bardock's right, because it's not the actual price of these guys. So minus the $246, you could probably get this deck for like under $100. Should be kind of fun and functional in a lot of ways, and I think if you're interested in Bojack, this is maybe like a step to go. But I just kept finding that I just either one, I didn't draw enough cards still, and I felt like this archetype would just be better in a better leader. And as much as I love Bojack, he is not a good leader. And I hope everyone knows this, right? And so this is where I started. I wanted to try and make a cool Aegis list, and it kind of made sense of like, oh, being able to draw one and untap some. Like those are both like Bojack's like weaknesses in a lot of ways. So like just having free cycle and stuff, but it just didn't work out. I think it's a little lackluster, and there might be still better builds for Bojack, but I think kind of going half and half on this Aegis isn't it. And so we went on to this build, and this is just like a really silly build, but I really like it. I'm no slouch to Cell Surge. I think it's a great leader, and I think this has like some potential. The weird thing about this is that, and I've played this a couple times, and I think it's still good. I just don't think it fits my playstyle. And the big thing about this deck too is it kind of brings back kind of like the Xeno button decks that were like popular at the end of last year. Which is just the idea of that you untap everything with the Xeno button, and then you just play like a bunch of Grade 8 Bardocks and Arrivals with that extra energy, and you just plus a lot, right? So it's kind of like that idea of a deck, but it's a little bit worse in this excuse me, in the sense that you don't untap your entire thing of energy, right? That's the big minus, but I don't know. It's weird. I think with this deck you just have to keep going. You have to be the aggressor, right? You have to keep being really aggressive. And then as you push in, then you use your Cell ability. So everything they plays in rest, which pretty much buys you another turn, which is really silly. And so I think this has a lot of potential. The only thing is like this deck is like super expensive, right? We've got like 4 Obunis, we've got 4 Bergamo, and 4 Great Apes. Like these are just not. This is an expensive deck in a lot of ways, and I think it's still great, but I think there's better decks if you have all these, right? This is really, like over $1,000. It's probably it's not that expensive with the Bardocks. Oh, so this is like $50. This is still like $1,000 for this whole dang deck. So I don't think that's very good, resource wise. Like if you have these cards, try it out. And I think like if you're playing on Untap, I think this is a really fun deck to try out. You have to be more aggressive than you think you have to be in a lot of ways, but I think it really works out. So just the idea for all these decks really is you have turn 1 you just charge like a blue-yellow, and then after that you turn 2 you have a lot of options in a lot of ways, right? If you need to like play a Bardock turn 2, you can do it. If you want to like do a Violent Rush turn 1 and then turn 2 and then you untap 2 energy and then you can play another Bardock, or if you use like Zamasu, you can use like Bergamo to tap them out in a lot of ways. So it just feels good. You're able to find like your Great Ape Son Gokus and sell the Dark Parasite with your leader effect too. So you're just like drawing a bunch of cards at the beginning of the game, and then you're just dropping like a bunch of big resources and big boys to your opponent has to. And like we're playing a Boonie too, which is like the best card to play on turn 4 and just is a offensive juggernaut in a lot of ways. So being able to play this swing with everything and then just say, also all the cards you play next turn are in rest mode. And so like they have a really hard time interacting with you. It feels good when it goes off, but if your opponent is able to out aggro you, you just have a bunch of expensive resources in your hand and you can't really do anything. So I think this leader has a chance, and I think this list has a chance too. The other kind of awkward thing is that we need to have a green energy or green card in our hand to awaken. So we've got 2 Son Goku in close quarters, 2 Shocking Death Ball, and we can always use our 9-drop too. Normally we want to pitch these at the end of the game to get our thing, but we so far I haven't had an issue with awakening. We just draw so many dang cards that it's hard not to see the cards you need. But that's just something to be really cognizant about and make sure that you don't just pitch all your green cards and then not be able to awaken halfway through the game. So I like this build. It probably needs a little bit more something. Needs a little oomph to really finish it out. Maybe this Jean and Martine. I really tried this card. I tried it in Bojack too. And it doesn't do as well as I thought it would. On the surface, it's like, oh cool. If you have this card out and then you activate any Aegis, it's not only its own. So let's say you have this card out and then this 7-drop Bojack. If you activate this card's Aegis, then you're able to just draw 3 cards and untap 2 energy, which felt really, really good. But I've yet to really, really try it out. So I don't know. I just never felt like I had enough time to actually play this as a 3-drop, and that's why I didn't play it. And so I still like this deck, and I think the big thing about this is just that like this is such a tight package that having to run these green kind of cards to make it a little oomphy felt really kind of bad. So I'm like, okay, and I don't I don't usually do this, and I talking to Aspira when we play some games too. He's in the video. Check out his channel. Shouts to him. But he's just like, you should probably use it in Gotenks, and he's right. And like I don't know, like this doesn't seem like a super original deck in any manner, right? Because we have just a lot of these. Like these just look like the Gotenks decks that are happening anyways right now. So it's not like very innovative, which usually I like to make innovative decks. But I think this is like solid all by itself. Just being able to play Violent Rush Bojack and untap 2 energy, and then if you need to be like aggressive or like kind of defensive, you can play Bardock. You can have 2 energy open to play Lukrembo. You can do some arrival stuff. You can play Universe 9 Assemble, which is a fantastic card since it's active battle. So like if you play this on like turn 2 or so, turn 2 or 3, chances are your opponent's already tapped out are close to it. And so being able to play this and then like draw an extra card and everything, and like you can they can swing with something, use Bojack to like, here's like a really good play. On your turn 2, what you do is that if you have like 1 energy open, right? Let's say you just play like a Basil or something. You just have like 1 energy open, right? So your opponent's not really afraid of doing anything. And like you can even like turn 1 like play like a mono yellow card, and then turn 2 play like the blue yellow if you need to. But you can just have it open, and then what you do is you just arrival, or even if you just have 2 energy open, right? Because if you need to have a blue yellow, if you don't have like the super combo in hand and you need to like combo with one of the blue yellow cards, turn 2 you just combo with the blue yellow, and then you arrival Bojack, and then you just use Bojack's ability to untap 2 and draw 1, and then you still have 2 energy open, so you can just use Universe 9 Assemble with the 2 energy since it's active battle. So that's just like a bunch of cycle. You get a bunch of boys out. Chances are your opponent is like tapped out on like turn 2 or so, just because like they're not like afraid to be tapped out in a lot of ways. Like even if you're just playing an opponent and they tap out, like they charge something on turn 1, you can just play this and draw technically 3 cards while also playing the Basil. It's just, all this is just really good ideas, and it just feels really solid. On top of this, Gotenks leader, which is able to just like draw 1, untap 1, or sorry, self-awaken itself, draw 1, and then also maybe sometimes draw cards on your opponent's turn 2 when they're just like this can draw like 1.5 cards, like 1 card every turn when you swing, and then like a potential of 2 more cards. So between 2 turns, this leader can draw up to 3 cards all by itself, which is crazy good. And so since we're just running all this yellow-blue stuff, so which means we're also running a Booney, because once again, this card is great. And you just drop this turn 4, and then you just start going in and everything. And you don't really have to, like, if you have, like, Nimbus in hand, you don't have to be worried about your opponent going, like, too hard. And you just have, like, a lot of interaction on our opponent's turn, too, that it just feels really, really solid. So this is the deck. I know this one isn't super original. I feel like this one's really original, and it's almost really good. It's probably just moderately good. It's just not, it's not good enough for you to actually spend all the money for all these cards, right? If you have all these cards already, you can try this deck out. I bet there are better decks you can put all these cards into, but I think this is super fun. It has a lot of interesting things you can do. And then like the try hard deck is this one too. So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think about this idea. I really try to get Aegis to work. I think this Bojack is super duper good. And being able to just, once again, untap 2 energy when we have cards, when we have Bojack in our, Bardock in our hand, we have cards like Bergamo, all this kind of stuff. Like it just makes sense that there's some good plays with it. I'm just not sure if it's quite there yet. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.